Morning, Edith. So, bit of a gap weekend for me this week, just before I go up and report back next weekend on the Motocross of African Nations. So I thought I'd come down and see a good buddy of mine down at Mike's Bikes. For you guys that have been watching Hollywood Hills for a while, you'll see that Mike Bikes is one of my own personal sponsors and has been for quite a few years from the rock and roll days of me racing downhill. So cool to come down and see the guys and talk about what they're all about. Sometimes people still ask me why Hollywood. Well, it's because I always used to have the rock and roll bikes back in the day. I'd always have box fresh kit, and that's kind of where the name came from. And then when I started doing the TV and stuff like that, the name stuck. So these guys were very much part of my journey when I was rocking and rolling. I quit downhill racing coming up for 4 years ago now, and yeah, it's still a little bit of a sad moment for me, but you know, work's got real good for me, working with you beautiful people out there in the world of off-road motorbike racing and enduros. But these guys still hold a big place in my heart. They look after my bikes. They've done some amazing factory builds through the years on my bikes, as well as a lot of the trail bikes. They were the first shop in Joburg, and as far as I know, the country, to start really specializing in the enduro and the trail side of things. Downhill's kind of died off over the last couple of years, so enduro and trail biking is where it's really been starting to pick up. And these guys have really been able to put together some amazing builds. Mike's an old buddy of mine from back in the day. We grew up racing BMX and downhill back in the 90s, so with a lot of history there, and I like to come and support these guys. So that's one of the reasons that Mike's Bikes has been a big part of my story. And when I started doing the Hollywood Hills inserts and the vlogs, they stayed on. They still look after my bikes, they look after Kerry's bikes, and every now and again when I'm feeling a bit fresh, I'll come down and get some fresh kits, and they do some nice builds for me. So yeah, you know, it's part of explaining as to why they're involved. And I'll obviously be tagging a lot of my other sponsors as we go through the years and all the episodes of Hollywood Hills to explain why that they're on. But yeah, the Mike's Bikes down here in Greenside, if you want to check out some of the best trail custom builds out there, these guys are part of the journey. They've been there through the 26-inch trail bikes, the 650 trail bikes, and now they're starting to put together some amazing 29-inch trail bikes. Mike's own bike is on display there, and it is just an absolute perler of a Santa Cruz. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm down here, and it's just cool to come hang out with some good buddies from back in the day, and they're still part of the Hollywood Hills journey. What's happening in the world of Hollywood Hills and off-road racing? I've talked a lot about what's been coming up the rest of this month. Motocross of African Nations. I'll be jumping a jet plane up to Botswana, up to Gabs, and that's going to be an amazing journey for me to be back on the motocross tracks. I'm really looking forward to it. After that, I go Paracycling Road World Champs at the end of the month, and then straight after that, we'll start talking about the next round of FJX, not the Enduro Cross, not the little arena cross circuit that they've got, but the full-size Enduro, and then after that, we go back into GXCC racing. It's a long gap until we go forward with the rest. How's it back there? It's a long time until we go forward with the rest of the national off-roads, because remember, the national off-roads do miss a round where the cars just go to Sun City. They throw forward about a month after that until they go up, and they're going to be racing in the Atlas Copco event. It's going to be a very busy month. I'll take a breath and I'll catch myself up when I come back from Gabs and back from Maritzburg for a Paracycling Road World Champs. And then we'll talk about FJX, and we'll talk about the next round, and that'll be the penultimate round of the GXCC series. For now, I'm signing off here at Mike's Bikes in Greenside, and Hollywood out. We'll see you guys out there on the tracks. Cheers.